Welcome to the Robots vs. Vampires podcast. Get ready to dive into two really amazing tales of sci-fi and fantasy.
Yeah, exploring some pretty unexpected battles between
Yeah,
good and evil.
that's right.
We're not just, retelling stories here. We're really trying to dig into the facts, within the fiction to hopefully spark your curiosity along the way.
Exactly.
And of course, make sure to rate and follow the show for more awesome adventures.
Absolutely. This week on Robots vs. Vampires, we are taking you on a pretty fascinating journey into two very different fictional worlds, both sparked by the incredible material you sent us.
That's right.
First, we're going to be rocketing across the cosmos, encountering, a kind of familiar epic, refracted through this lens of interstellar travel. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Then we're going to plunge headfirst into the gritty, neon-lit underbelly of, a cyberpunk London, where a legendary mystery gets this thrillingly digital and super dangerous update.
Think of it as like your own personal expedition into these imaginative narratives, zeroing in on the core insights and the surprising connections we can unearth together.
Okay. So let's jump right in. Our first story, we're calling it Starshield. You sent us this logline, and it really got us thinking.
It's a good one.
In a universe of nebulae and black holes, the legendary Odysseus navigates cosmic dangers and a yearning for a home forgotten by the stars.
Wow.
It's a really cool premise. What really jumped out at you from the source material right away?
What immediately grabs you, I think, is how the story takes these timeless archetypes from Homer's Odyssey and layers them onto this really futuristic canvas.
Right.
The challenges that Odysseus faces, temptation, monstrous encounters, that deep longing for home, they're all still there. But they kind of manifest in these technologically advanced forms,
right,
like the sirens, for example.
Yeah, the sirens.
And in the material you sent, they aren't just these alluring voices anymore.
Right.
They're holographic projections delivering this sophisticated system-breaching computer virus. Whoa.
Oh, that's intense.
It speaks to a key theme in science fiction, As our technology keeps evolving, so do the threats we face, often becoming more insidious by exploiting our reliance on digital systems.
That's a great point. It's not just like a superficial update. It really shows how these enduring human struggles adapt to new situations and new context. This Star Eater Nebula, described as like a graveyard of ships with these digital sirens luring crews to their doom.
Yeah, creepy.
It really paints a picture of a really dangerous universe where both physical and digital threats are always lurking, Makes you think about the mental toughness a crew would need to navigate dangers like that.
For sure. And the name Odysseus itself, it carries a lot of weight,
It does, yeah.
Your sources make it clear that the story doesn't shy away from this legacy. It explicitly contrasts those idealized heroic tales with the often mundane and really harsh realities of deep space travel.
Right.
We hear about the long, boring watches, that constant threat of radiation, the sheer isolation of being in the void.
Yeah.
Grounding this legendary figure in such gritty conditions. I mean, it adds a really powerful layer of realism to the science fiction setting.
Yeah, for sure. And here's where things got really interesting for me. Your source material, it detailed a moment where young Telemachus, he overlaid ancient Mediterranean sailing routes from Homer's time onto modern star charts.
Interesting.
And he found some weird correlations. It was almost like a phantom trail pointing to where Earth might be.
Phantom trail.
Yeah. What do you think is the significance of this connection between myth and reality in the story?
It's such a smart move by the writer. It suggests that these ancient myths, they might hold echoes of a forgotten past, a real cosmic history that's become legend.
Right.
This phantom trail, it offers this tangible link to a lost home.
Yeah.
It implies that the stories we tell ourselves, they can hold real clues about where we come from and maybe even where we're going.
Wow.
It underscores this lasting power of narrative, how it can guide us across, vast distances and through what seem like impossible obstacles.
And then the Crew encounters the Cyclops Nebula. Of course,
Yeah.
the mythology is right there, but the story presents it as both this monstrous cosmic anomaly, like a giant evil eye in space,
Oh, yeah.
and a real navigational hazard, a really dense and treacherous asteroid field.
Right. How does this Cyclops challenge differ from the original story,
Yeah.
with Odysseus? Well, unlike the mythical Odysseus, who, he used brute force and cunning to blind the Cyclops,
Hmm.
this future Odysseus, he's shown making these like frantic technical adjustments, rerouting power, relying on split-second decisions just to get through this deadly asteroid field.
Wow.
It's a much more technological and arguably, more desperate form of heroism.
Yeah.
It emphasizes how much humanity relies on machines
Yeah.
and quick thinking when faced with cosmic dangers.
Yeah.
And the fact that they survive is attributed to sheer dumb luck,
Right.
which really emphasizes the unforgiving nature of this universe.
Right. But just when all hope seems lost, there's this incredibly moving moment. The crew detects a faint but unmistakably human radio signal
What?
carrying Beethoven's music. It's such an unexpected detail, but it's so powerful as a possible sign of life, a piece of cultural heritage that basically proves that their ancestors made it out into the stars.
Amazing.
What makes this discovery so important in the context of this long journey?
The emotional weight of that moment, it's huge. It's not an alien signal or some crazy advanced technology. It's a familiar piece of human art.
Yeah.
From a distant past.
Yeah.
It's a tangible connection to the home they've only known through, bits and pieces of stories. It offers this deep sense of shared history and a renewed sense of hope in what seems like this never-ending search. It reminds us of the enduring power of culture to go beyond time and space.
Absolutely. And this signal leads them to a forgotten colony on an asteroid,
Oh, cool.
their long-sought Ithaca. But the reality of this Earth is far from the idealized paradise you'd expect from the legends.
Yeah.
What does the state of this colony say about, the reality of long-term space survival?
Well, the contrast, right, between this mythical ideal of home and the reality of this asteroid colony, it's pretty striking.
It is.
It suggests that to survive in space long term, you need resilience, adaptability, a willingness to redefine what home really means.
Right.
The initial disappointment the crew feels, I think it underscores how hard it is to hold on to those idealized visions when faced with harsh realities.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens next? It's so important. They don't give in to despair. They find a community of survivors.
Okay.
Bound by shared hardship and this really tenacious will to live, the, quote, welcome home. Though it's not much to look at, is it?
Yeah.
It really captures that blend of relief and sobering reality.
Yeah, it does. And the ending emphasizes this idea of a new beginning, not just a return to some lost golden age.
Right.
They bring practical supplies, ancient ship schematics. It's this
Yeah.
interesting mix of old and new knowledge.
Yeah.
And maybe most importantly, the power of their stories.
That's right.
The idea of Earth becoming a star shield is introduced.
Oh, I like that.
It signals a shift from, searching for the past to this active stance of defiance and future exploration.
Interesting.
What do you think is the meaning of this transformation?
It's crucial, I think. The journey isn't about finding some perfect sanctuary. It's about using the knowledge and resources they've gathered, both practical and the stories,
Okay.
to create a new future. The ancient ship schematics, combined with modern tech, it's like this powerful synergy between past and present.
Cool.
And that final mention of a conqueror's heart, it hints at a big shift in their purpose,
Yeah.
moving beyond survival to actually shaping their own destiny
Yeah.
out there in the cosmos.
Wow. Okay, let's switch gears now. Big time. Let's dive into the neon-drenched world of Hound Code, this cyberpunk take on Sherlock Holmes and the Hound at the Baskervilles.
Oh, I love it.
You sent us this log line, and it's so vivid. Sherlock Holmes swaps the Moors for megacities and a glowing hound for a killer code, battling a digital monstrosity to save cyberpunk London.
Whoa.
Sounds like a wild ride.
It is. It's a total change of scenery and threat. The story throws us right into the cyberpunk world with the Hound's first attack.
Yeah.
It's not a physical beast howling across the moors,
Right.
It's the catastrophic failure of a server farm and the cascading chaos that it unleashes on London's power grid.
Oh, wow.
It instantly shows us the high stakes
Yeah.
of a technologically advanced society that's totally vulnerable to digital threats.
And we're introduced to these awesome updated versions of Sherlock and Watson.
Right.
This Sherlock, he's got a mind deck.
What?
It's described as like a contraband neural interface.
Whoa.
And Dr. James Watson, he's now an ex-military surgeon with a cybernetic eye.
Cool.
They're instantly compelling figures for this setting. I really like that little nod to the original story, where Watson says, so the game is afoot then.
Oh, yeah. Classic.
Even in this futuristic world.
It's a nice touch.
Yeah.
That line acts as this anchor. It grounds the familiar parts of the Sherlock Holmes dynamic within this exciting new framework.
Right.
And the description of London under siege with glitching traffic signals and those automated drones going haywire.
Yeah, the drones.
It really shows the widespread impact of this digital hound. It's not just an isolated thing; it's a systemic attack that's threatening to tear apart this society that's so dependent on technology.
Right. And Sherlock's method of investigation, it takes a really cool digital turn.
Oh, how would so?
Instead of, looking for footprints in the mud, he's diving into London's huge data streams. Using his mind deck, which the source material describes as this chaotic neon fever dream of information.
Right.
And the Hound itself, it's not just a static piece of malware. It's described as actively evolving and learning in this digital landscape.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
What's really unsettling is that it implies there's some kind of intelligence behind it.
Right.
This digital threat. The Hound shows what they call demented brilliance, which suggests a level of sophistication beyond just programmed instruction.
Right.
And that recurring image of a monstrous, pixelated canine head appearing on infected screens.
Yeah.
It's both a chilling clue and a powerful symbol of this evolving digital predator.
It's a scary thought. And of course, the name Baskerville, it makes you think of the original mystery.
Of course.
But the story quickly introduces this layer of a classified project connected to that name.
Interesting.
This blend of folklore and dangerous cutting-edge tech seems to be at the heart of this reimagined mystery.
Yeah, I agree. It hints that the origin of this digital hound,
Yeah.
it could be rooted in some secret scientific experiments,
Okay.
blurring the lines between the mythical curse of the Baskervilles and the unintended consequences of advanced technology. This mix of ancient and futuristic it's a hallmark of good cyberpunk storytelling.
Yeah, for sure. The confrontation at the ruins of the Baskerville biotech facility, it's less of a chase across the moors and more of a battle in the digital world.
Right.
Sherlock, he's plugged into his mind deck, and Watson, with his cybernetic enhancements, they're a very different kind of investigative team.
They are.
Ready for this high-tech showdown.
Yeah.
I was really struck by that detail in the source material about Watson's customized medkit, being able to overclock a man or short-circuit a rogue bot.
Oh, yeah. That's cool.
That perfectly sums up the fusion of biology and technology that defines this cyberpunk world.
It does. Watson's role, it goes beyond just being a doctor.
Yeah.
His skills are now intertwined with cybernetics, making him an essential part of this technologically driven investigation. It shows how even the most human professions are being reshaped by technological advances.
And then there's this desperate, almost symbiotic moment where Watson overclocks Sherlock's mind.
Whoa.
Pushing his cognitive abilities to the limit, turning him into this hurricane of logic to fight the Hound's relentless attacks.
Yeah.
It's a really exciting, high-stakes example of the human intellect being amplified by technology.
It's a testament to the power of the human mind, even when it's enhanced by technology.
Right.
This fight, it's not just about processing power. It's about the ability to analyze, to deduce, to strategize. These are human skills, but amplified to a level where they can actually challenge a sophisticated AI on its own turf.
Wow. But in the end, the digital battle needs a physical solution.
Oh.
Watson channels energy through his cybernetic eye.
Cool.
To destroy the server that's housing the core of the Hound. It's a powerful reminder that even in this hyper-digital world, the physical world can still be the key to solving even the most abstract threats.
Exactly. It highlights how connected the digital and physical realms are.
Right.
The threat might start and operate in the digital world, but has a physical anchor point.
Right.
That needs a physical action to to neutralize it. This shows that the physical world is still relevant, even as our lives become more and more digital.
And even though they win, the ending isn't a clean one.
Yeah.
The official story is that it was just a technical glitch. But Sherlock and Watson, they know the truth.
Yeah.
The digital landscape is still vast and unknown. And a new, possibly even more dangerous threat, it's probably out there, lurking just beyond their awareness.
Very.
That last line, the game was afoot and it had just begun, it really leaves you with a sense of unease.
Yeah.
And lingering danger.
It does. It avoids that easy sense of closure. It acknowledges that threats in a technologically advanced world are constant and evolving. The digital frontier, it's kind of like the wild moors of the original story.
Right.
It can hide unseen dangers, and the fight against them, well, it's never really over.
So for you, the listener, what can we take away from these two very different stories on robots versus vampires? In Starshield, we see how ancient myths, they can provide a framework for even the most futuristic stories, and how our idea of home can be surprisingly resilient and adaptable. It makes you think, about the power of the stories we inherit and how they shape how we see ourselves and our place in the universe, no matter how far we travel.
Absolutely. And in the neon-soaked world of Hound Code, we see the huge potential and the inherent risks of our technological progress, and how even our oldest fears can take on new digital forms. It raises an important question for our increasingly interconnected world. As technology becomes more and more a part of our lives, what new kinds of monsters might we accidentally create? And how will we change how we understand threats and how we defend ourselves to face them?
We hope this deep dive into these two captivating stories has piqued your curiosity and given you some interesting food for thought.
Food for thought. I like that.
What resonated with you most in these tales of cosmic voyages and cyberpunk mysteries? What connections did you see between these seemingly different worlds?
For your continued contemplation, think about this. In both stories, the heroes face what seem like impossible challenges.
Right.
By mixing what they already know with new and innovative approaches.
Yeah.
Think about a problem you're facing right now. Could looking at it through a completely different lens, maybe even a mythological or futuristic one, help you see a new perspective or a solution you didn't see before?
That's a great point. Thank you for joining us on this epic adventure on the Robots vs. Vampires podcast. We can't wait to see the awesome sources you send us.
That's right. Keep them coming.
Until our next thrilling encounter, keep those questions coming and stay curious.
I'll be curious.
And don't forget to rate and follow the show for more awesome stories.